right, so it is Friday, February 10th, and today we are just going to jump right back in with DominoiUI, scaling the live view that we've been working on. Yeah, so there's really not a lot of bookkeeping to take care of. Let's just jump right into it. All right, so we got to remember where we left off last week. We were working on being able to scale, because if you recall, a DOM element in Firefox and Chrome, I guess most browsers will have a physical limit on how tall those elements can get. So in Chrome, I believe it's 32 million pixels. And of course, if you have a live view of, I don't know, 1 million records with 32 pixels tall, that's basically all you would be able to get. And then you would be hitting the bottom of your scroll bar and still not be able to see. If you had 2 million records, you wouldn't be able to see the second half. So let's see where we left off. So it does look like we have some rendering issues. So we should probably take a look at some of that. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's scaling right. 7207, 7217. So this is basically adding a little bit shy of 10 pixels. Man, that's kind of weird, right? Let's just take a look at the changes that we made. We did upgrade to DominoiUI release candidate 17. And the live grid plugin, or the live view plugin. What changes did we make there? You can't see it because of my face. I swap to this side. Yeah, that's going to be a little bit more complicated. This demo page, all I did was change it down to 5,000 because I didn't want to load 500,000 records. And in here, I made the maximum body height to 50,000 pixels. So if I had 5,000 records, and I can't recall how tall these records are, 42 pixels. Let's just get in here times 5,000. So that's going to be 210,000 pixels tall. Yeah, that's a good test. So what other changes did we make? Just mark that one as a private final. Added a sizing row properties as a JS map of that sizing row. That way we can just throw on some extra data onto it. On all rows added. So this is where we're doing some math for the virtualization. So we have the physical height. Yeah, I was having some nomenclature issues last week. Wasn't really sure what to actually call some of these things. All right, so let's just take a look at what we have. Maybe in the scaling, because we have scale up and down. And scaling up, it basically just grabs whatever scale it is on the sizing row. Are we using this for anything other than a double? No, it doesn't look like it. I mean, would I be able to do this? I know that this isn't going to, it just returns a JS property map. I guess I can cast it. This song sounds weird. Yeah, skip that. I've been having some weird internet issues recently. Intermittent disconnects. So hopefully I can keep my stream live today. All right. Oops. So now we can eliminate that. I mean, we will do something about that if for some reason we decide to add other properties to that, but really it's only holding onto the other scale. I mean, is there a reason to do it here instead of a field? I don't remember my line of thinking. So we're getting the scale, multiplying the y, dividing the y to scale down. All right, so then synchronize the view from scroll. So here we have loaded the data. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, it will call... I need a D on that to turn that into a double instead of an int. So then that determines the scale. So if I were to console log this and say on all rows added, this might be redundant. Could be wrong. Where is that? Probably need to split my screen so I can keep track of the other methods. So let's all rows synchronize from scroll. Here we go. Scale DOM rows. Yeah, see, it's doing a scale DOM rows again. And this is sync scroll. I think I needed to pre-pin that so I can see it. All right, well, let's just take a look at the logs here. I'm pretty sure that this is calling that method twice. All right, so there's our scale. There's the on rows added, scale DOM. It's having to scale again, and that's only because the table starts out small. Let me actually change this to 5001 records. There we go. See, it's having to call it twice because I have a window resize event, or an element resize event. So whenever that element is detected to resize, it has to determine which or how many records can actually be displayed in that viewport. So that's only calling scale DOM once, but with a scroll, I think that's a little different. So let's scroll down a little bit. Let's clear it and try scrolling again. There we go. On all rows added, scale DOM does the V top for a bunch of these. Yeah, and sync scroll right there, scale DOM. So it does call it twice whenever you're scrolling. So I don't think we'll need it. We may not need it in the synchronized view from scroll. We can probably just do it when records are loaded, because if you think about it, if I don't know if you noticed this, but let's go up to the very top. If I scroll down and up a little bit, where it doesn't actually have to load any new records. It doesn't have to call the scale stuff, and it probably makes sense because we're not loading any new records. So I'm going to remove that. Let me take a look at this, make sure that we're not double dipping into that method again. All right, so I'll clear that. And now whenever I scroll, once it loads another record, then it says on all rows added, scale DOM, and then it does all the other VTOPs. That is probably good. So it's only calling it once now. So in this particular case, we probably want to be able to scale all of the rows, right? So whenever I come in here to on all rows added, let me keep these separate because I'm constantly having to find that code. So this is just figuring out what the scale needs to be, and that could change. I don't think it would. But like if for some reason there's more data on the quote unquote server in the list view or the data source, we would have to change the scale based upon how many total records there are. So kind of have to recalculate the scale every single time. All right, setting the height. That was old code. I don't really need that log anymore, but that's fine. Scale DOM rows, and then it handles selection. Okay, so that's probably good. Did I take out the little bit whenever it's adding the row? That's the init on before add row. So this is, don't need the offset anymore because we decided to set the top to 0 because we will calculate the top after. Okay, that works. So scale DOM rows. Let's take a look at this guy right now. So if the view range is empty, we're just going to return because there's nothing to scale. So this is just going through all of the values, grabbing the virtual top. We can't do that on every single one of these. We can only do it on the very first one. Oh yeah, that's where we had the issue last time. Because of the fact that whenever you're scrolling through and scrolling back, because of the LRU cache, the records may not be contiguous. So we can't just grab like the first row. You notice that it's right in the middle. And then whenever I go down, you can see that it jumps all the way up there. It's because of the LRU cache, and it's always appending to the bottom regardless of which scroll direction that we're going. So we can't calculate it like that. How can we calculate it? Because we also need to figure out, like at the very end, we need to make sure that we're bottom justifying the records. That way we don't clip or have a lot of white space at the bottom if the math is weird. That's a problem that I'll have to solve later, but for now we just have to figure out how to get these non-contiguous rows in a decent state. So we need to figure out the anchor point for this and then take all of these records, grabbing the index and scaling the top based upon its index. But that's all going to be based upon the scroll position. Need to find the anchor. Anchor point is going to be last scroll top, I guess. Yeah, it's gonna get weird. I have a feeling that things are going to start fluttering. Because if you remember, our view range, view index range, that's going to have a gutter on both sides. So technically the scroll top should be basically after the initial gutter. Sorry about that, I'm getting a text. Sorry, had to respond to a text. Yeah, I don't really know how to do this. So the general idea is figure out what we are anchoring to, and then scale the top for all rows in cache based upon their index. And we're kind of getting that already. We're grabbing the index, but we can't just multiply it by the height. Can we? I mean, that's going to be basically the top of where it would have been if the div was large enough to actually fit all of the records. So that might actually be fine. But we're kind of already doing that though, so that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So what are my VTOPs here? Yeah, so these are all 40 pixels apart. $90.48. $90.90, yeah. That's the V top. That's the virtual top. So that's actually correct. Am I going the wrong way here? Should I be scaling it up? No, that's not right. Yeah, that is definitely not right. Because I've only scrolled a little bit, and the top is 14,000 pixels here. But why are they all 10 pixels apart? Did I get the scale wrong? Alright, so the height needed is the filtered count times the row height. So that makes sense. That's how much we need. So then the physical height, basically what we're going to be setting the sizing row is going to be the minimum of our maximum body height. And right now we have it set to the 50,000 just for testing purposes. Versus the needed height. So that's going to be the physical height. But then we're also subtracting the physical height mod of row height. Right, because we need to make sure that the physical height is going to hold a even number of records. All right, so if they're not the same, the needed height and the physical height, then we're just going to scale it. Otherwise, we set it to 1. So in that particular case, if I did like 50 records, load. Yeah, that seems to be working in a weird way. I'm wondering if doing all of that math is causing some performance issues. That does not look very performant. Kind of wonder if we can use like a CSS variable or something. Like if we were to set on the T body a variable and did the top a calc of whatever that variable is. That's... Oh, but we can only have... We can't use the ATTR because we would actually need the ATTR. I guess we could also just throw that in as a variable, but that's not very helpful. That seems to be working just fine for 50 records. 5,000 records. Oh, thanks for the follow. Hello. How's it going? See, I swear I had this working at least for a little bit last week. I may have to take a look at the file history on this. Local history. When did I stream last? That was last week. I have a question about web dev. Can you help out? I can try. Depends on the questions. Haven't done a lot of development with React or anything like that, but I can give it a good college try. It's about Express and React only. Yeah, I'm not very versed in React. I have looked at it, but not a lot of experience with it. I get the general concepts of it. I don't know, there might be some other people in chat that might be able to answer if I can't. But I don't have high hopes of being able to answer it. Yeah, see right here. I was grabbing the offset of the last scroll top and scaled it. And then I got the row. Yeah, this one I was only... Let me try this one again. Can I copy that? Right. A lot of the web development questions are kind of universal. If it's talking about just browser interactions. All right, let's comment that out. So this one I am scaling the scroll top. Well, I don't think you really can, unless you were to obfuscate it. Not obfuscate, but you can send an encrypted token to the other client. I mean, that's just a general web development question. Obviously, you don't want to have the real API key on the other client if somebody would be able to use that. Like grab that key and use it with their own applications or call it directly and never have to actually log in themselves. Right, and just like Colin said, since it's all in clear text on the other client, so even if you were to do some crazy stuff like embed data inside of an image, because you can do that, well, if it's on the server side, I mean, is this on the client side? I may have missed that part. Yeah, if it's server side only, then you shouldn't have that issue because the clients wouldn't be making calls directly. If you're putting code in like a GitHub repository or something like that, you obviously wouldn't want to put your API keys in a public source code repository. You would probably want to have it thrown in as a environment variable or something. Yeah, if the client has to have that key, it's not going to be protected. That's why I mentioned that you might want to have like some sort of authentication strategy where you can pass a token, and that token is used to hit the other server, and it determines if you're authorized to do that, and those should be expirable. Yeah, I think we need a little bit more specifics as to what you're intending on protecting. Otherwise, we're just speculating. Right. I mean, it's sort of like a J session ID or something like that. If it's being sent to the other server, if somebody were to capture your session cookie or something like that, they'd be able to operate on the other website as you. I am not entirely sure. So this iterates over all of the rows. Yeah, I mean, that's not React specific. So you would be able to broaden your searches for this a little bit. Right. Because once it hits the other client, it's visible. Or use something like OAuth or something like that. If you use OAuth, whenever somebody authenticates, they would be granted a token, and that token is used to hit your server, and then you would just have to, on the other server side, validate that token. Probably need to change my theme. I don't know if this can be seen very well. It's kind of dark. I like the theme, but may not be great for streaming. Where is that? Appearance. So that's Material Oceanic. I'm going to save that so I remember. Ooh. Oof. This might be a little bit easier for people to see, but oh, that is blinding. All right, so the rows in cache are non-contiguous due to the LRU cache. So let's think about this for a little bit. I kind of want to write stuff down. That's something that I haven't figured out how to do on stream. Sometimes my designs, I like to use pencil and paper. Well, you won't be able to do that. Because anybody would be able to write some scripts. You can write some curl scripts and interact with a web server and be able to interact with your API. If they have that API key, then it doesn't have to come from your front end. If another app is able to communicate, then the server's not going to care, unless you were to whitelist IPs. But if you're writing an application that can go on the web where anybody would be able to hit it, you wouldn't be able to do any kind of IP address whitelisting. I mean, if you create like a bundled application using like an embedded browser, I mean, you would be able to do something there, but you would still be able to, somebody would be able to figure out what your API key is with enough time. Because even if it has like SSL, you can probably still get into the internals of the embedded browser. All right, I'm gonna write some stuff down on a piece of paper. Kind of wish I had an overhead cam for this. I'm just trying to figure out how to do the offsets here. Right. I would still suggest like an OAuth or something like that. That way you're not having to deal with the authentication. You can tie it into like Google OAuth or Facebook or anybody that you want to use as a backing for your authentication. And you probably shouldn't have a single key. Even everybody, like on GitHub, you have an API key, and that's personal to the account. So everybody would have their own API keys. So if anything's being malicious, you would be able to easily track down which account it's associated with, instead of having one global key that rules them all. So is the scroll, where's the scroll top? Yeah, scroll all the way down here, find out what the scroll top is. So that is all the way down. What is that? Yeah, that's a weird number. 317. So I was just taking the scroll top, subtracting the total height. Oh wait, 49,980. I thought it was 50,000, but that makes sense because if you were to at 50,000 divided by, I think the record height is 42. That's going to be 1190 times 42, and that's 49980. That's our height there. So 49980 minus 49683, 297. Is that our... Yeah, it looks like that's our view area. Oh, okay. 297. So is that really our view area? I guess that makes sense. So I guess whenever you scroll down to the very bottom, it's going to be the top pixel of that range, not the bottom, which is good. Because if I were to do 297 divided by 42, ooh. Yeah, that makes sense, because it's not going to be perfect on the other top. So 297 divided by 42, it's 7. So then times 42 divided by 7. Or wait, what did I just do? I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, I haven't really played around too much with OAuth. It's one of those things where I get to work, and once it starts working, I never look at it again, and then I forget how it's done, and then I have to look it all up again. Alright, so if I were to scroll all the way down, then that's going to be the top there. And I want to fill that space with the final records. I mean, that's going to be one of the edge cases. I'm probably not going to worry about that too much. I just know that whenever I scroll all the way up to the top, that one's going to be 0. So that is basically my view range, but without the gutter. Yeah, that's gonna be rough, because I don't think I actually capture the gutter. What is my view range? Yeah, see, I only have the start and end index. I probably should have captured some information about the before and after gutter in here, right? That's going to require some redesign. Yeah, being able to protect your key on the front end is going to be very impossible. Yeah, I needed to hold on to the gutter information. Oh, I don't want to have to redesign this. How can I do this without having to redesign it? Do I have like an art program or anything. Yeah, I kind of wish you could see what I'm looking at. What I'm coding is basically with a DominoiUI. It has a data table, and I'm trying to create a data table that can handle massive row counts, because whenever you load too many DOM elements in the other browser, of course, it's going to start bogging down the other system. So that's just 500. If I load 5,000, you can see that my performance is starting to tank. And if I were to go up to 10,000, performance, aim the camera down. Is my head getting cut off? Oh, yeah, it's on my laptop. Probably need to invest in a different webcam. I don't really understand why Macs have really crappy webcams. Some stuff and things. So I was just drawing some pictures on a piece of paper, because sometimes the visualization helps me. But yeah, the performance on that really tanked. So being able to only render the records that are actually in the viewport, meaning that if I'm scrolled down here, I don't have records 1 through 2,200 in the other DOM, because basically that's going to cause a lot of performance issues. So in this particular case, we're only rendering, I don't know, 30 records or so. And whenever I scroll through, you can see that new records are being added to the other bottom, and we're adjusting the top based upon a scale, but I'm not doing that very well. And that's where my current dilemma is, because this is an append only. So even whenever we scroll up, you can see that we have smaller numbers down here for the indexes, and these are the data indexes of where it actually exists in the data store. But because we're appending only, even scrolling up, they're going to be in a non-contiguous order. So basically what I need to do, looks like I need to figure out, based upon the scroll top, which index should be displayed at the top, and that would be my anchor, right? And then it would be row height plus the offset times, no, it'd be row height times the index minus the offset because of the other scale. Oh, that could work. That could work. I just need to figure out which index should be at the top. And let's play around with that and see if that could work. That might cause some jitteriness, but we can see. Let me just remove all that crap. All right, so the last scroll top, we're wanting to figure out. Yeah, you can hear my my NDS, or not NDS, my NAS that's on my desk. It's got loud hard drives. Probably need to change those to solid states, but doing like a solid state for a network server is expensive. How many determining get current view for range? Here we go. This is, where's my resize handle? Why can't I find this? Okay, it's not rendering. I just have to grab it. All right, view start. Oh, see, this is the view start index, and this is scaling. That's probably fine. Yes, I'm repeating. So based upon the last scroll top, we're scaling up the last. Yes, this is all in Java, and it transpiles into TypeScript and JavaScript in the end. That way, we can write our entire front end using a type-safe language that has quite a bit of tool support and refactoring tools available for Java. Right, that makes sense. I haven't really taken a look too much at the transpiling side of things. All right. Let's take a look at that. Because I think I have something in my head that could actually potentially work. I need to get rid of these VDOMs, or VTUPs. View start is 82. Is that right? Let's take a look. 82. Yeah. Yeah, that's correct. 82. 82. So that is the starting index of the top where the last scroll top is. So then I don't have to worry about my. Yeah, that could work. Then I don't have to worry about my gutter. All right. Probably. Just doing all of these bits of math. I should probably do the stream earlier in the week before I'm all burnt out. Because, yeah, by Friday I'm like, I'm just ready for the weekend. My brain hurts. All right, so this is the view start index. Figure out what row index, data index, represents the top of the view base. Yeah. So that's going to be our anchor, right? So then from that, if we do the get index of that, no. Ooh, I may have to put my NAS in a quiet period while I'm streaming, because that's picking up on my mic pretty loud. Maybe if I turn up the music a little bit, nobody can notice. Or now that I pointed it out, everybody's going to hear it, and you can't unhear it. All right, so that's the view start index. So then I need to figure out from that index what the scaled top is going to be. So that's going to be my offset. So then every see, we don't want to scale down. We want to take trying to remember how this would work. That's not the offset. The offset is going to be the real top minus that scaled down version. And then this is going to be the virtual top minus offset. I don't know. Seems right in my head. So what topic should I look into to protect my API with a key that is secured on front end React app? I mean, there's many technologies. I think my music's too loud. I think Colin mentioned a couple of them in here somewhere. I was half paying attention. Did I actually get this to work? That looks like it's working. Holy crap. Look at that. Oh, and it breaks at the end. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out the end. But the rest of it looks like it's working. So if I load, this is probably a dumb idea. I'm going to generate 2 million records. Load that. I don't know why the top's not loading. For some reason, it's not loading. No, that's not working. Yeah, that's broken. What's in there? Hold on. I think the browser's crashed. That's weird that the scroll bar is... Let me kill DevTools. Yeah, I think I killed the browser. Well, thought it was gonna work. But yeah, I still don't know why the top... Oh, it's because it's not on a scroll. That's why it had double. Let's just ignore that for now, because we're only doing this after all rows have been added. Did I kill the browser again? No. Somehow the probably need to figure out why it's doing this, but the striping seems to get off. Because at the very beginning, the evens have a background color. But now here you can see that the odds have a background color. I need to figure out what's doing that, but let me just write that down. Striping not accurate. So I wonder what's going on. So that's 100,000 records. And it's trying to fit 100,000 records in a 5,000 pixel tall div, or not a div, but a TR. Yeah, basically 50,000 pixels. So scrolling about halfway, we should see about 500,000 index. We do. That's not too bad. That's not bad at all. I just don't know what's going on. Whenever I get... Let's just add another 0 here. Load that data. Halfway down should be about 500,000. I wonder if it's because I scrolled to the bottom, and because I haven't dealt with the bottom logic yet, I probably put it in a weird unknown state. No, that's broken. Yeah, I think I broke something again. What's it doing? Do I have a, I think I have a asynchronous sync, don't I? Yeah. So we're clearing that timeout. And I'll probably do this with a request animation. But it's basically the same thing. Sync delay. What is my sync delay? So this waits 50 milliseconds. I guess that's all right. I wonder if it's just compounding on top of each other. Because yeah, this is broken. I was scrolling too fast. Yeah, probably need to do this with like an animation frame. What's idle callback? Guess I'm not familiar with that one. Is that a real thing or? I am. That's kind of what I need, right? That is interesting. So this is basically like a schedule deferred. No? Are you sure? Because a schedule... Right. Well, okay. Yeah, I get it. So, idle callback. During a browser's idle periods. Like, how much idle are we talking about? Because I don't want the, I don't want it just to be dead. Yeah. Probably need to synchronize the scroll before that, so let me just maybe request animation frame. Because syncing the scroll is basically like an animation, right? How's that any different than doing a set timeout? Does it though? Right. Yeah, so we would want to do it on the element, right? What are we scrolling on? Probably the data table. So I can't remember what the first... What is that? Callback. Timestamp, that's right. Right. Well, And with a inactive tab, every browser handles things a little bit differently. I know that Chrome tends to like to pause everything whenever a tab is inactive. So for like logouts and stuff, in a project that I'm on, apparently, request animation frame. I mean, it's in... I'm not seeing it. It's in Elemental. Unless I completely overlooked it. I mean, it's JavaScript, so you can just throw whatever you want as a second argument, but I don't know. It doesn't look like it. Yeah, it doesn't look standard. I'm surprised it would be in here for a non-standard. Kind of wish it had documentation. I can try it. And that returns an int. Is this an int? No, that's a double. Almost sounds like my internet is kind of flaking out right now. Because the song sounds wavy to me. Is it old? Right. But how does it do it now? Or does it not? It may not now. That whenever you request an animation frame, it just does whatever. Oh, thanks for coming to the stream. I think Colin in chat was able to help you more than I was. Yeah, that's completely broken. I need to kill that frame. That went to the wrong browser. Okay. Yeah, I guess I won't do anything with that. So we did do an animation frame this time. See if that kills me. Whenever I go up to 500 or 50,000 records. Yeah, I thought this was supposed to scroll to the top on new data load. Yeah, see how that right there. The scroll jumps. Why? Yeah, it's not like the height of this is changing any. Yeah, I don't know why my scroll is doing that. Am I changing the scroll? Or scroll top is equal to that's the last scroll top. So yeah, whenever I search, it's supposed to scroll to the top. I guess that load data is not scrolling. Yeah, we're not setting the scroll top anywhere else. I mean, I don't know why that's bugging out like that. Yeah, like why did it just jump up there? Oh, that's not the right element. That is not 26,000 scroll top. Let me single click that. Let me. Come on, Chrome. What's your problem? Why is it doing that? I'm not setting the scroll top anywhere. So I don't know why that's happening. Makes zero sense. Scroll to the middle. Yeah. This wasn't doing this just a while ago. Now it's broken. I'm about to throw this away. Because this is unusable. This is all broken now. And I don't know why. Oh shit, shoot. Infinite loop. How the hell did I get in an infinite loop here? What? How's my end index? So that's what's happening. Like how did my start index that makes zero sense here. I don't even have that many records. Yeah, there's something bizarre with us. It's whenever I'm scrolling too fast. There's 43 uses. Why is there so many of those? Oh, it's because of my tests. How is something calculating such a wide range? So this is calculating a difference. Yeah, and I have unit tests on this stuff. So it's probably something. So let's see. If my new view range get end minus new view range get start greater than 50,000. Let's debug that. Gotta kill that tab. Try this again. How is something calculating that wide of a range? And how did something not... Yeah, I need to look at the view index range after it's been modified. But that's going to be hard because we're calling load data. That might be too far after. Maybe we can try. Then I'll probably need to take a break after this. Yeah, don't want to go with 50 million yet. Let's just do 500,000. Yeah, there it goes again. You see how it's, I'm barely moving my mouse. And it keeps jumping, and I'm not entirely sure why it's jumping. Oh. I wonder, like right there, what are the elements that I have in here? I wonder if it's because we have some elements that are just terribly out of range. And it's forcing a weird scroll because of the top. That might be it. So I probably also need to see, let's not set a top on anything if it's outside of the view area. I know what I'm saying. I don't know if anybody else knows what I'm saying. I still don't know why the view range did that weird thing though. So with the display visibility equals. Last body height. Am I using this anywhere? How am I getting the scale? Table height. Saying that's not actually true either. That's something that I haven't figured out how to deal with because we're not checking the body, the T body height, because that's not going to be the correct number. Visibility. Ugh. W3 schools. Way. Hidden. Okay. I think that's the reason. How did I break it this time? Did I get the math wrong? If the new top is greater than... Well, yeah. If the new top is greater than the height of the sizing row, and it shouldn't be rendered at all. Something's weird. I don't think it's actually calling that, is it? Live view plugin. Okay, it is calling it. Is this breaking something? Oh, it is breaking something. It's like, why isn't this working? It's just not actually failing. Class cast exception. Okay. Ugh. That's a good way to do that. I should probably just save it. Physical height. Done. No reason to parse it. Yeah, must be. For some reason I thought that was just going to drop the unit off of it, but I was mistaken. Aha! It hit that. So there is something, because of the scaling and because of the fact that we are scrolling back and forth, whenever I have something that's in the LRU cache that in the current scroll location, it would like render completely off screen, like outside of the div or the size of the sizing row. That was causing problems. So here I'm just setting the visibility to hidden instead of setting the top. That could fix my weird janky scrolling. Yeah, whoo, slick. And we're not getting infinite loops here. Yeah. I mean, I guess it wasn't infinite, but for some reason the view range kept growing. All right, so load that data. So this is with 5 million records. I don't know why I decided to go with 5 million. That seemed to have been a risky proposal here. Hell yeah, look at that shit. Stuff. Look at that. Look at it. I have 5 million records here. Inside of a div, or I don't know why I keep calling it a div. Inside of a scrollable area that's only 50,000 pixels tall. Maximum. Oh, I thought it was gonna break. I mean, doing a random access of the backing array is going to be a performance hit because we are trying to look at an array list of 5 million records. So that is a little on the slow side, but could you imagine if this were completely in the DOM? It wouldn't have ever been. There is no way we could have had 5 million records in the DOM. What? Oh, it's been a while since I've had to use this button. Yeah. Woo. Oh yeah. That works. All right, so now I just have to figure out the end. Have to figure out the end. That's weird. $5 million is pretty oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I couldn't imagine. Well, I can imagine a particular client wanting to put like 5 million rows in a data table. But yeah, that is pretty absurd. JS will have problems with that much data. Well, yeah. Could you imagine the RPC call for that? I mean, I would hope that it was chunked up into multiple calls. But I mean, a lot of this is developer beware. But I didn't kill the browser. That is the whole point of this little exercise, is being able to load something that looks like 5 million records. I mean, granted, I'm not dealing with the end. Yeah. Ugh, that's a lot in the heap. I mean, it would be nice to see if we can back this by a server call. That might be interesting, but man, I don't know if I want to do that with Data Table 1.0. Right. So if we were to be able to change this from a in-memory data store to something that actually hits the server, yeah, I mean, all I did was copy and paste all of the code for the local list data store. I do need to figure out the end of this, but I think I need to take a break. I am not going to set the timer one because I don't know if I'm going to be back in 5 minutes or not. It'll probably be a little bit longer because I have to feed the cats. So I will be right back. Enjoy the music, and whenever I come back, we're going to tackle the end of the other list, because we kind of want to make sure that whenever you scroll down to the very bottom, that it's butting up the end with the last few records. So stick around, enjoy some music, and I will be right back. Slow jazz. All right, I am back. Probably should have got some water while I was away, but we left off. We basically were able to get 5 million records rendered in a row that's only 50,000 pixels. All right, so that is actually kind of good. So we need to figure out how to deal with the end, because the end is going to be a little difficult. Let's see if we can do it. So I can probably clean up some of this code. Obviously, we probably have performance issues galore. Why is that bookmarked? Probably have performance issues galore, but I'm not too worried about that right now. Why do I have that? That seems weird. Let's go ahead and remove a lot of our console lines because they're no longer needed. All right. All right, I'm gonna change the music up a little bit. I'm in a better mood now. Yeah, let's try this one out. All right, so basically we need to be able to figure out which location, like how to deal with this. All right, so right now we've only figured out the start index based upon the last scroll top. And we might be like eliminating some of the other bottom records. So how do we do this? So how are we figuring out how many we can view? Compute. Or calculate. Nope, that's cache size. I want to calculate view range? Get view range. Okay. Yeah, I probably should have named that a little different. That's weird. I hear an airplane. I never hear airplanes from my house. So whenever I hear helicopters or airplanes, I'm like, oh, what's going on? Because I live pretty far out. That is just not something I hear every day anymore. All right, so the body count right here is basically the row height or table height divided by row count. So I'm probably going to cache some of these. Let me rethink this up a little bit. I mean, that's easy enough to get. don't have to worry about that one too much. Body count is basically just the records that can be visible based upon the height of the table. So if I were to yeah, let's figure this out manually. All right, so it's going to be based upon the offset. For this view start index, but that view start index could change based upon the last scroll top. So if we get the view range, so I'm wondering, I'm just gonna, I'll rename these later. Yeah, and this is doing a ceiling of the table height divided by the row height. And that's going to go to the top because we want to show more than what's going to be available in the current height, because the height of the table is not going to be an exact number for the number of rows. It's not going to be an even distribution. So let's think about this for a little bit. And you can see my window behind me. The green screen is too thin. I need to get a thicker green screen, or one that's backed by like canvas or something. I just got a cheap one on Amazon. So, thinking out loud, if we're at the end of the scroll area, see, I'm wondering if it's actually pulling those records. Is it pulling those records? That's going to be a different issue. We should probably solve that one first. Oh, I dragged that farther than you can see. Yeah, that's a different issue. It's not even loading the end. It's actually chopping off quite a bit. Yeah, this is the last record that it's getting. Out of 5 million, and it's dropping off like 30,000 records. And that's probably because of the precision of our math. So let's take a look at this. So the problem is in this code, because we're having to scale up here. Did we save the needed height? No, we did not. I mean, I can, it's just one calculation. It's not like it has to do much. I don't know how optimized getting a size of a... I'm assuming they cached that somehow. I haven't really looked at the implementation for list. Alright, so the needed height, that's basically the, yeah, just keep the same name. I'm just curious. So I'm going to refresh this, do something that's going to fit within that 50,000 pixels, like 50 records. So this one, so my total height is 2100. My scroll top, whenever I scroll down to the very bottom, is 1803. Is that correct? I don't know why I keep thinking that my calculator has a backspace capability. 2100 minus 1803 is 297. Yeah, I think I did that math before. So it's going to do that many rows. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 0.07 of another row. So yeah, that's correct. It was 42 pixels tall, right? Yeah, 42 pixels. So a little bit over 7 records. So the scroll height, or the scroll top, is going to be at the very top of this, not accounting for this stuff. And what's my body count? Table height. So last scroll top needed versus last scroll top. It's not versus, but body count. Just so that I can see that number too. And since this is doing a ceiling, it's probably going to show me 8. Oops. We do 50. And scroll down, or 10. Yeah, it's because it's I have to do it on the table itself. We basically have these two headers to ignore. So technically it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and it's probably a partial one up there. So that complicates things a little bit, because I wasn't able to get I don't know how to get this exact measurement. I'm only able to get the table. Because if I were to look at some of these other elements, what is actually going to be in that area? Because even the scroller is on the table itself, not on the T body, because the T body is basically this huge element. So there's really nothing to anchor the visible body of this. Yeah, there's really no way. I mean, I could do it with math, like grabbing the bounding box of the T head, and then I can't use the T body for anything because that bounding box is exceeding that. So it's basically taking the T head bounding box, grabbing the bottom of it, the Y coordinate, and doing some math with the table as a whole, and that's gross. Nobody wants to do that. All right, so 10 records, 10 body count. So that's going to be 420 pixels. 10 records, 420 pixels, is that right? So if I measure this, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh, that's because the 10th one is just a barely scraping by. Okay, so about 410 pixels. And that's 300 pixels. Oh, that's interesting. So that's actually the size of the visible body, 297. I think the only way to get that is to scroll to the very bottom, and what was this number? That was the last scroll. No, body count. Right? No. Needed. Last scroll top. So that's the last scroll top. So basically the height of the sizing row minus the last scroll top is the actual visible area. That seems weird, but man, it seems pretty on par with that guess. Not really, because if you look at it, it's only 7 records. Because we did the math, and it's like 7.07. Yeah, that's probably useless information. Not really. How do I know if it's at the very bottom? Is there a way to get the scroll bottom? What do I have? That is not the table. Is there a scroll bottom? No. Is there a way to know if it's scrolled all the way down? Scroll top minus offset height. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing, right? Because the, no, that's not the offset height. Let me take a look at that link. Ugh. Keeps opening up in Firefox since that's my default browser. But I'm doing this stream with Chrome. So what's the question here? Yeah, so that's plus the height. So my offset height is 400. Yeah, that doesn't really help. Yeah, I think the problem is the scroll is in a. It's scrolling on the table element. Which container? Because the scroll is on the table element. The thing in the container. You should be getting it from the container. The T body. I mean, the T body is the thing that's scrolling. You can see whenever I scroll every which way. Oh, that is my TR here. You can see it a little bit over here. Made it 1 pixel transparent. So that height is the needed height, which is 2100. So if I did the scroll top, 1803 minus the div size. It's negative 297. I don't know what that gives me. That, you can see it's the height of the sizing row. Yeah, it's really bizarre because of the fact that we also have this header to compensate for. So whenever I scroll to the very top, the T body is now positioned right there, right under, even though the scroll happens on the entire table. We have this T head here. Yeah, it's weird to me too. That was one of the other changes in one of the more recent DominoiUI changes. I'll have to go back through the chat in Slack to figure out when that was done and why. Right. How big is the head? 88 pixels. $209. What does that give me? $209. How big is the head again? 88. So if it's 1803 plus 88, 2100 minus 1891, which is 209. What is that from? I have no idea, because the table is 400 pixels. How tall is a scroll bar? About 14 pixels. Does that account for anything? 14, maybe 15 pixels. Hard to tell. It might be 15. So, yeah, so 385 plus 15 is 400. Oh. I don't want to do stupid math on this. Because there's also the issue with Macs. Let me see if I can figure out where the other scroll bar thing is. I do have show scroll bars automatically based upon the other mouse or the trackpad, but I guess Chrome is just always going to show the other scroll bar. Yeah, no kidding. Browsers are hard. It's caused so many headaches. I just don't know how to determine if I've scrolled all the way down. I mean, if I do that, then I can at least do the math to know which offset I need to start with. $2,100 as my last scroll top. I'm at a loss. I don't care about window. I'm assuming that a lot of these will carry over. But some of these won't. Because this also doesn't account for any kind of gap between the T head and the T body. What is the position's relative? That position is sticky. See, that's where we're having the issue, is because that position's sticky. And that's how it's able to stay at the top, even though we're scrolling something behind it, basically underneath it. But because this one's relative, yeah, the math on sticky positioning gets weird. I mean, that is showing all 50 records. See, that was supposed to scroll up to the top on load. I don't know why it's not. I wonder if I removed that code at some point. Forgot about it. Let me do 12. Let me see, what's the magic number where they all fit in there? It looks like 11. Where the entire data set is in here. Hello? $50. I don't know what I broke. That looks like it's only holding 10 records. Oh, wait. Oops. 0 indexed. It's like, I only see 10. Alright, 0 indexed. Yeah, it's end of week. So this means that I can get at least maybe 13. So that's 13 in the DOM. They all show. So that's sized as 546. 546, yeah. And that's 400 still. Looks like I'm only going to be solving one issue per stream, apparently. Just having to do this is kind of frustrating. How do you know if you're scrolled to the very bottom? Because these numbers don't make sense. That is 88 pixels. I'm scrolled to the very bottom, which is 249. $546 is the sizing row. 249. It's 297. So it's again 297. Even here, it's 297. What does that 297 mean? There's a gap. 297 pixels from the scroll top to the full size. Yeah, so that is the body height. But where do I get that magic number? How do I get that magic number? Because that's not it. There's a 15 pixel difference. Because the 400 is the table height. Yeah, and that 15 pixels is that freaking scroll bar. Because we, whenever we scroll, you can see that it goes down to that point. So I have to subtract that scroll bar. What is the, there's a CSS for that, right? But we don't know if the scroll bar is showing or not, do we? So GXT had a hack to test the size of the scroll gutter. Yeah. I don't know. I hate it. How do we figure that out? Why isn't that a thing? Why do people have to do the math on that to figure out, hey, did I scroll to the bottom? Let's calculate the height versus scroll top. Can't remember, was it sticky? Today's stream is just read with me. Yeah, I think, oh, yeah. Didn't even think of that. Which ads were shown? Yeah. It's hard to bypass that. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm just going to have to make something up. I think with the data table, these are all lessons learned. So data table 2.0, we probably should have better control over scroll. Because that's going to be very important. I think with data table 2.0, I'd like to make horizontal scrolling. Yeah, I usually don't either, but I don't use Chrome. I don't have extensions on here. I would like to be able to have better control over our scrolls. I would like the vertical scroll start, here, go down, be at the body instead of being the full height of the other table. Because I just feel that's weird to scroll to the very top of the table, including the headers, even though the content that you're scrolling starts here. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea how to figure out if I scrolled to the very bottom with the current implementation. And this is just assuming that the scroll bar is there, because in our example, if we were to resize these columns in such a way that it drops the scroll bar, notice that it shifted down, but now it shifted back up. But as soon as I get rid of that scroll bar, all that data shifts down. So now if I were to do scroll top, we can see that it's 234. It still doesn't make any sense. Because the header is 88 pixels. No. 312. What is 312? Ah. There we go. Yeah. So the full table height minus that is 88, and minus the T head, that's all 0. So table height minus needed height minus scroll top minus, oh, plus. That was weird. You asked what 312 was. Yeah. Oh. Alright, so the total height minus the offset height plus the T head minus... Okay, there we go. So total height The needed height. This is the needed height minus the table height plus the header, t-head's height, minus the last scroll top. If it's 0, we know that we scroll to the bottom. That's only fine if we don't have a scroll bar. Because now, with the scroll bar, our scroll top is now 249. Right? Yeah, 249. And that doesn't add up. There's a 15 pixel difference. So now I do 249 there. So it's 15 pixel difference. There you go. Ugh. Is there a way to find out if the scroll... this is stupid. All of this is stupid. It feels like I'm going down a weird rabbit hole just to find out if I'm scrolled down to the bottom. I don't know how to make that determination otherwise. Because, I mean, that might be platform specific. What if the browser decided to make the vertical scroll bar go all the way down to the bottom, even though there's a horizontal? It just so happened that they put the bounding box like this, instead of like this. So I have no idea. And I don't want to do weird things with like removing the scroll bars temporarily, and because that'll do weird things. Oh no, they're not going to be consistent. Here, let me open up Firefox. Just hold on one moment. Let me grab a Firefox window that doesn't have personal stuff on it. Like bookmarks and stuff. I forgot what I was doing. 127, that one. There we go. Let's try this out in Firefox. I am pretty sure that it does something different. I mean, it probably won't even be 15 pixels. It'll be something weird. I may have to clear cache and try this again. Oh man, today is Friday. I am so glad. Well, that looks consistent with Chrome. No, it doesn't. Does it? Okay. Yeah. That's. I wonder if that's just a. That looks like it's probably a system scroll bar. But of course, this is going to be completely different on Windows or Linux. Another reason to control the scroll bar, just create a your own custom div. Well, I mean, that's worked. To the point of we have it in Chrome, where we're not displaying the bottom couple of records because we don't know if we're actually at the bottom yet. It's probably not going to be consistent. Huh? Nope. Yeah, it's consistent at least. So we're chopping off 20 records off of this. I mean, 20 is quite a bit. How many pixels is 20 records? 20 times 42. That's 840 pixels. Like, we're chopping off 840 pixels worth of... Like, holy crap. 840. That's about that size, if you can see that. That's a lot of records to not have on there. So I probably just need to play around with the math, but like I said, I just don't know if I'm scrolled to the very bottom or not. That is going to be the conundrum here. So I think what I'm gonna do, my uptime is almost 2 hours. I'm not sure if I want to do a live stream of me just reading Stack Overflow. I may have to table this and come back to it. Yeah, so I don't know what else to do on this until I figure out that simple thing. So once we figure out if we've scrolled to the very bottom and we know how many records we need to display, 10 in this particular case, even though it's including the header, what we would do is take the last index minus the view count. Now, yeah, the first thing that we have to do is fix this, because we're not even getting to the end because we're scaling. Because here we're looking at the start and end index based upon the scaled count. If you think about this, it's kind of doing like a fisheye, where the things that we're seeing is full size, but then everything else is zoomed out or tiny. So whenever you're scrolling, it's really just readjusting everything to be normal size just for your viewing pleasure. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. So we're scaling up. So we're going from the the physical scroll to the virtual scroll top. And then we're dividing by the row height to get the intended view start index from that. And we're doing the floor on that. So that would give us the previous. Yeah, it's like right here. We need to know, did we scroll to the bottom? Because if so, then let's just change our view start index to the filtered count minus the body count, and the end index being the very last. I think that would be the best approach, but I don't know if we've scrolled to the bottom. Stupid scroll bar. Because also the thing that we're going to have to deal with is the fact that there could be multiple T heads in here, I believe. Are these individual T heads? No. It's just one T head. Wasn't there something that had a different T head? No, I guess it's just extra rows in the same T head. I mean, that's something. Yeah, and what if the T head changes height or something like that? Is that available to us? If I do data table header element, yeah, I guess we do have that offset height. All right, so we do have that available to our disposal. All right, so Firefox, you basically behave the same, so I'm just gonna put you over here. So that didn't help me any. Scroll height minus scroll top. Yeah, 385 is the top minus scroll bar. Yeah, I'm just playing around with some of the other numbers here. So that just gives me the T head, the offset height of the T head, Not sure if that helps any or not. Probably not. 249 is the magical number here. There's not a good way to do this, is there? Well, I am not a big fan of just reading as part of my stream. I'm gonna have to come back to this. I'm gonna look at this over the next week and see if I can figure out how to make the determination of me getting to the very end of this scroll without having to know that there's a freaking scroll bar there. Because, I mean, this is probably not that great of content otherwise. So I think I'm going to wrap it up for now. I mean, it's almost 3 o'clock Eastern right now. I've been streaming for a little bit over 3 hours. So yeah, I mean, we were able to do this. I mean, it wasn't that pointless of a stream. So if I were to throw in 500,000 records in here, we do have the ability to basically view crazy number of records, even 5 million here. Let me generate those. Generating takes longer than actually loading, so load that data. There we go. So 5 million records. Yeah, it's a little slower because it's random access to grab at indices. But yeah, the whole, did I scroll to the very bottom? That's going to be an issue moving forward. I mean, it's kind of funny because with 5 million records, just scrolling down a little bit, just one click, brought me all the way down to 401. No, 801. So it looks like I'm scrolling 400 records every time. I couldn't imagine anybody making use of 5 million records in a single table. But, I mean, that's the whole point of us doing this, is for those edge cases where somebody wants to do something stupid, we're going to allow them to do something stupid without having to kill the browser in the process. So, whenever I come back next week, I hope I have an answer for making the determination if I've scrolled to the very bottom, because that'll be a little bit easier to deal with the last few records. Once we scroll to the very bottom, we just want to offset just the number of records that can fit on the screen and ignore the rest. I think that would be the best plan for handling the last page in that pagination, because if you're scrolling up, then it can just use the normal logic of figuring out how to displace based upon the scale. It's just the very end is specific, and we have to be perfect on that one. But if we have this scroll bar, as we saw from our tests, there's like a 15 pixel difference that's unaccounted for, because it's going to be the scroll top versus the needed. No, that's not right. It's not the needed, because we need to display 5 million records. We need 210 million pixels. Is that right? 5 million. 5 times 42. Yeah. That is a lot of pixels, and that is exactly why we're doing it this way, because no browser will be able to support an element 210 million pixels tall. So yeah, it's a conundrum. If anybody that's watching this has the knowledge, some ideas of how we can make that determination that we scroll to the very bottom. Granted that we're using a T head that is sticky position, so that throws things off a little bit, and the scroll is at the table, not the T body, and that's why the scroll bar is going all the way up the side. If somebody can help me with that, I'm greatly appreciated. Just send me an email, justin@vertispan.com, and we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. So I appreciate everybody that came out. I'm going to be exporting this to YouTube just so that we can retain a copy. That's what I've been doing recently, since Twitch deletes their VODs after like 6 days, unless you're like a partner or something like that. But yeah, we'll have this future to be able to watch me reading Stack Overflow. So thanks for coming, and we'll see you next week. Goodbye. All right, so only because Colin said something. Yeah. Remote data loading? Sure. We need to figure out the local data loading first. We did discuss possibly changing up the data source stuff. Been looking at some of these like CouchDB like NoSQL databases on the browser side. That might be a fun project to play around with. So maybe we'll do that. I do have to get back to the CSS binding at some point. I've been putting that off. I like to start projects and never finish them. But all right, so bye again.